Good morning, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. Everyone knows that the best dating tip is that when you go out with someone, don't pay attention to how they treat you. Watch how they treat the waiter. They may open the door for you to the car and pull up a chair for you at the table, but how do they treat the waiter? Because the test of someone's character is not how they treat those who are superior to them, but those who are seemingly inferior to them. At the end of this week's Parshat Emor, the Torah tells a story about a man who cursed God. He was the blasphemer. And Moses doesn't know what to do with him, so he puts him in prison, in confinement, for God to determine what his punishment should be. But before the Torah concludes the story about the punishment for the blasphemer, the Torah discusses the laws of one who strikes or injures an animal. And then the Torah goes on to say what happens if you injure or strike your fellow man, or the stranger or the proselyte in your midst. And the Torah says there should be one law for the stranger and for your fellow Jew. Everyone should be treated equally. And the question is, what does these laws have to do with the story of the blasphemer? That the story is interrupted to talk about causing harm to your fellow man, to the stranger in your midst, or even to the animal. One of the beautiful interpretations and lessons is that the Torah is saying is that some people may say, well, God is divine. Of course you have to treat God with respect. Of course you cannot curse or be a blasphemer. But your fellow man or the stranger in your midst or an animal, why do I have to be concerned about that? And therefore the very, very powerful lesson is that God says it's not just my honor that you have to be concerned about and respecting God. It's your respect for every fellow human being, every person, even the stranger and the proselyte in your midst, even the feelings and the pain of an animal you have to be sensitive to, because that's the measure of a person. The measure of the person is the respect that they show every single human being. There's a story about this pet shop that put up a sign, puppies for sale. And this little boy, 8-year-old boy, walks in. He says, I've been saving my money, my allowance to buy a puppy. How much are the puppies? And the store owner says, the puppies are $25 each. He says, okay, great. Can I see the puppies? And the owner goes into the back and brings out a bunch of little puppies. And he notices that one puppy was like lagging behind in the back, just limping along with the rest of the puppies. And the little boy looks and he says, I want that puppy. And the owner says, I don't think you want that puppy. You see, that puppy was born injured. It was born missing its hip socket. And the veterinarian said that it will always be lame and crippled and will always limp. You don't really want that puppy. And the boy says, no, I insist. That's the puppy I want. So the owner says, well, if you really want that puppy, I'll sell it to you, but I can't charge you the full $25. I'll charge you $10 for that puppy if you want it. And the boy says, no, that puppy's worth as much as any other puppy. I'm going to pay you the full $25. And he pulls out of his pocket his quarters and dimes and nickels and dollars. And the owner says, little boy, why would you want that puppy? That puppy's never going to be able to run and play like all the other puppies. And the little boy pulls up his pants from his leg, and he shows the store owner his brace, his big metal brace on his leg. And he says, I was also born with a deformed, twisted, crooked leg. I can't either run and play like all the other children. This puppy needs an owner who will understand it. The most important quality and measure of a person is their empathy, their compassion, their understanding of others. And therefore God says, more than I'm concerned about my honor and my respect, it's the respect and honor for your fellow man, regardless of their stature or status or importance in life. Have a Shabbat Shalom.